Thanks, Natalie and AidWatch for inviting me for presenting Reality of Aid Asia Pacific. Reality of Aid Asia Pacific was founded in 2000, and I was involved with the network, I think, since 2007. Reality of Aid Asia Pacific is an independent southern regional arm of Reality of Aid network, the global network. They have another southern arm, Reality of Aid Africa. And in this context, Reality of Aid Asia Pacific, or we call it RoA-AP, is a regional network of CSOs. And our aim is to transform aid relationship, especially in favor of the poor and marginalized people. And at the same time, we also want that developing countries can reduce their aid dependency. Before going to Reality of Aid Asia Pacific more, I would like to first highlight why Southern CSOs are committed to transform aid relationships. I think there is a kind of a contextual or understanding difference between North and South also on the transforming aid relationships. To us, we found that donor aid strategies are generally based on political or historical alliances and geography of influence, not the people-centered approach or poverty eradication. So that is one of our key challenges to transform this kind of strategies. And many of our CSO colleagues from the South consider that ODA's role in development cooperation is kind of repaying historical debt for centuries of exploitation. And if you look at the bilateral donors funding or allocation pattern, then you will see also this legacy. For example, bilateral donors allowed 5 times larger budget share to their historical colonies than the share they allocated to other countries. At the same time, we also found that Asia-Pacific countries are increasing their role in development cooperation agenda. New players are coming, China, India. At the same time, government corruption and transparency issues are also worsened in many countries in the Asia-Pacific. So this also highlights the civil societies in the region that we have to be more proactive to promote effective development cooperation. And another concern is very much for the Southern CSOs is that ODA is currently used to leverage private flows, and which intensifies corporate capture of development cooperation, while threatening its supposed public interest mandate. And we are also worried that donors are persistently increasing the role of international financial institutions, such as ADB, AIB, in financing public-private partnerships. So now I will just brief what Reality of Aid Asia Pacific does. Okay, first we do independent assessment of aid policies and practices in the region, and then we publish our assessments through research and monitoring reports. And we also do constructive dialogue with policymakers from national to international levels. And RoA-AP facilitate capacity development of CSOs so that they can effectively engage with development cooperation agenda at the national and regional and international level. And we also facilitate peer learning among Asia-Pacific CSOs. And we also bring the voices from marginalized communities at regional and global aid debates. And very recently, we are also started doing raising public awareness in donor countries. So now I will highlight basically what we did in the past year. Due to the pandemic, of course, our many regular activities was curtailed down. But we managed to do some notable works. For example, we strengthened our engagement with Development Assistance Committee members, especially IFIs like ADB AGMs. We also participated UN-led fora like Asia Pacific Forum on Sustainable Development, and also other CSO-led fora such as Asian People's Forum, Asia Pacific People's Forum for Sustainable Development. And I'm happy that we also launched 8 talks with AidWatch, and we are continuing this collaboration. And we also scaled up our work of the RoA-AP Observatory platform. This is a RoA-AP trademark work, I think. This platform is a database of development projects reported by CSOs using development effectiveness framework. We have also conducted 2 workshops, one regional and one global, on the Observatory of Training Handbook. I think AidWatch also participated in these workshops. And this training material basically enables civil societies to create their own observatory platform or contribute to RoA-AP Observatory platform. If I would like to highlight that the importance of RoA-AP as a network of the CSOs in the region, it will take time. I will just give an example how our work really helps in the region. For example, in 2019, we did research on development effectiveness of the Asian Development Bank. And 2020, we did on Asian Infrastructure Bank and National Development Bank. And our findings, what we found that the use of ODA to leverage public-private partnerships through international financial institutions results in human rights violations and shrinking civic spaces in marginalized communities. And these findings basically developed through our member organizations, research work, case studies, and others. And these collective findings basically, I think, transforming many of our future works. Most of the time, there is a question that the importance of RoA-AP members in the network. We believe that RoA-AP members are the driving force for the network. And currently, RoA-AP has around 80 members. And we will not be able to do any of our policy and advocacy initiatives without the strength and commitment of RoA-AP and CPD Asia members. Yes, here I would like to mention that RoA-AP also hosts the platform CPD Asia. And also RoA-AP facilitated the Peace and Security Thematic Working Group of OECD DAC CSO Reference Group. And RoA-AP members are active in both CPD Asia and Peace and Security Thematic Working Group. And last year also, we started working on this Southern CSO Alliance on South-South Cooperation. So, and most of the time, the RoA-AP future work design and everything, it is basically driven by the members' findings, members' research and other things, because our members directly experiencing the negative impacts of violations of development projects in their countries. On example, we could say that these negative experiences drives the reality of AidAsia Pacific to develop the RoA-AP Observatory platform. And just a short, I would like to what the future plan we are thinking as a network. Our key focus is on empowering our members so that they can take on leadership role in advancing rights-based approaches in various development cooperation spaces. And engaging with OECD DAC, also Industrial Network on Conflict and Fragility, and OECD DAC member countries, especially Asia Pacific donors, is our priority. And many DAC members have shown interest in our work on the triple nexus in conflict-affected fragile states, especially Australia, Canada, Denmark, Finland, Germany, Ireland, Italy, Japan, South Korea, Spain, Sweden, and Switzerland. They have shown interest on these triple nexus issues of our work. And based on the advocacy priorities of our members, we will continue engaging international financial institutes, especially the ADB and AIIB. Nevertheless, we only started to reach out both AIIB and NDB in 2020 after the release of our research on both banks. Unfortunately, the AIIB and NDB do not have CSO mechanisms or processes in which we can still engage. However, we will be having our regional meeting in this coming September, and we will send invitation to our members soon. And at that regional meeting, we will launch our policy research on the development effectiveness on the triple nexus. Finally, I would like to highlight Reality of AidAsia Pacific key messages for transforming aid. We strongly urge that donors must fulfill their 0.7% gross national income ODA commitment. And in managing ODA, donors and the recipient government must uphold development effectiveness principles as well as rights-based approach to development, so that the fund goes to the people center and real assistance on the ground. And for the pandemic time, we urge donor must provide distinct and additional funding for COVID-19 programs, and a major part of such funding must be in the form of grants, not loans. And donor and other development actors must support Asia Pacific peoples in achieving genuine democracy across the region. Donors and other development actors must honor and adopt do no harm principle in responding to conflict and fragility as well as managing the overall ODA. And due to this pandemic crisis, donors must increase funding for local CSOs and ensure an enabling environment for local CSOs to freely, safely, and securely they can carry out their work. We all together must collectively prevent corporate capture of development, militarism, and authoritarianism in the Asia Pacific. Thank you.